Hello everyone. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I recently received a lot of Action Force stuff that I bought for myself for Christmas, and I enjoy talking about them and showing you guys what I got. So, yeah, other than that, this is another review, and I'm going to be doing more after this as well. So I hope you aren't tired of them. If you are, feel free to comment down below what else you would like me to see, and I will try to get those reviews out. If you want other figures, if you don't mind, let me know that you don't mind. Just comment whatever you want and I'll reply. I mention this in almost every one of my videos. I will comment back to you. I will reply to your comment. I'll see every comment. I may not like full on chat with you, but I will at least heart your comment or give you a thumbs up or something, unless I feel the conversation is needed. But here we have some more troop builders in the Action Force line from the wave. This is part of Special Deployment Series. This is the in-between wave of Series 2 and 3. So 2.5, there's no technical term, but I like to think of it as Series like 2.5, Series 2B something, or 2C, whatever we're on now. Anyways, here we have the Spec Ops Trooper in the middle. And I also keep forgetting these guys are technically just called Republic Guards. They are not actually part of Action Force, which I knew, but since they're referred to as Special Ops, Delta, Riot, and Urban Troopers, I always forget that they are technically Republic Guard since I don't read the comics and don't know the lore. So just a little fun fact if you also didn't know that. But as shown here, he has 2 gear packs. This is also the reissue of the figure. So showing the packaging here, we have this nice artwork, security enforcement, and the special ops gear packs as well. So for the side of the box, it looks like we're gonna have to turn this one the other way, and this one. So you can see the artwork on the side is the same as on the front. We have the Action Force logo, and I really like the monotone black and white look there. We have the other sides all just saying Action Force with that Special Deployment Series deco on the box, which is diamond plate, tread plate, with the Action Force logo. Kind of look like it's getting welded on, or it just like popped up on screen. In my opinion. So, wow, that was loud. We have the Action Force at the top. We have the warning logo for choking hazards and Valverse logo as well. And then we have the bottom of the box, which is the same. No one under 5. Don't really care about the rest of that. We have the back of the box showing you, and these are in the box, so they're kind of rattly. We have all of them. You can go ahead and pause frame now to read the Republic Guards file card here. It is the same as the Delta Trooper that I have, and I'm not sure if it's going to be the same as the rest of the Republic Guards, but I would assume. The only difference being the photo, because this is a Special Ops and not just a Delta Trooper or the other troopers. I really like these guys. I had to reread this to understand them because I tend to forget bios and things like that really quickly because they don't pertain to my everyday life, but to know more about the lore, you can go ahead and read that. Of course, you get your 1 action point because this is a cheaper figure, and you get 1 action point with the gear packs as well. So this is 3 in total if you buy these 3. And if you bought 1 figure per gear pack, you'd have 4. So if you can do math, there you go. Valverse.com. Follow Valverse on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Valverse logo. You get that QR code you can scan that takes you to valverse.com as well. And of course you can cut this out, but I don't really want to cut my boxes until we do something with action points. If we ever get a good reason to have action points, I have a collection of them now and would love to spend them. So there you go. So more about the Republic Guard. He is, or they are the sort of military troops that were honestly just kind of stuck where they were once the main event occurred that set up the Action Force sort of lore altogether, or the collapse, I should call it. and it says all this on the file card. They're basically just military that had to end up becoming sort of domestic. They deal with domestic issues and things that occur like that in their respected republic. So they're kind of just the nameless soldiers that are not on action force, but do a lot to protect society in itself. And I really like that idea of kind of soldier. So taking a closer look at this gear pack here, this is, what do I even have in hand? The Special Ops gear pack. So you can see everything that comes with it on the back. And of course mine had some weird taping. They're supposed to be, this is supposed to be glued or something. So mine's going to open like a crate now, which is funny. And that's the only one that I have like that. And then we have the security enforcement pack, which I got because instead of the other pack, it's all gray. This one is, well, that one's all gray, and this one, wow, that one's all black, and this one's all gray, and it comes with the G36, which is pretty cool, and mostly the same as the other one, just different color. Like, even the secondary is the same, and the knife, like, it makes sense that they're the same because they're supposed to be given to the same sort of Republic troopers. So we're going to go ahead and open these and then talk about them some more now. Alright, so here we have the Spec Ops Trooper, and I have two of them. If you watch my Crimson Shadow 10 video, you will have seen this other one. But essentially, they're exactly the same. They are the same figure. You buy this figure twice, and this is what you get. So they're printed, or not printed, they're molded all black. They're the exact same body mold as 90% of the Action Force figures. They're the basic troops with nothing on them until you add the gear packs, which I really like because the Spec Ops Trooper in particular, I was actually thinking about this last night. If you want just a buck body that you can add paint or clay to go ahead and customize without kit bashing, like if you are a true customizer and you want a nice military or even just a normal body that has great articulation, the Spec Ops Trooper is going to be a dream for you because it's all black. You don't have to paint a base coat of black or anything like that. You can just go ahead and start doing what you do. So other than the fact that he is all black, there's not a lot to talk about via details. He is the same body as the rest of them. You have that sort of mesh at the top, and then you have the combat pants, knee pads, shoulder pad or elbow pads. You have the gloves, which are the same as every pair of gloves that all the troopers get. He is exactly the same, just a different color as the other troopers. Of course, he has the combat boots, and when these come out of the package, I just want to say they are extremely tight. You are going to want to heat these guys up. That is the only downside as far as the articulation on them, is they're stiff. So that's a good and a bad. They're stiff to where they're not extremely loose and they won't shake around a lot, but some of them are too stiff to where you feel like you're going to break them, and some of them have been broken from what I've seen online. This is a reissue. This is not Series 1, so I'm not too worried about breaking it as I was with Series 1, but it's still possible, and I'm still kind of scared. Even moving this arm, it's like sort of difficult to do. And with my Delta Trooper second figure that I bought, I stressed the back of his leg right there on this side. I pushed that knee up, and that joint sort of tore upwards a little bit more than it should have. So I recommend heating it up. You can't really see it too well. It is there on that right side there, but yeah, just so you don't destroy your figures, I recommend heating them up beforehand, and that is probably what I will do. I'll go ahead and cut the video and then heat that up here in a second. But before we get more into that, I would like to tell you, if you did not know and you are new to this line, let me level out this camera a little bit. Every figure and every accessory comes in these baggies, and I'm kind of overwhelmed now because I bought so many things that I have so many bags, but I really appreciate the bags because for someone who is tight on space and wants to leave some of the accessories in the box, sometimes they come in the bags and they're super easy to separate. You don't have to kind of pile everything into a Ziploc. You already provided one. You can keep up with everything easier and don't have to worry about losing things, which is really important for kids, collectors, and everybody who enjoys toys. If you have to worry about losing your accessories because they don't come with something to put them in, you have to find something to put them in, and it's just easier if you already have something to put them in. So even though I have so many of these bags that I'm kind of fed up with it at the same time, I really do appreciate the fact that everything does come in bags. So that being said, moving on, we have the rest of the rest of the Spec Ops Troopers accessories. We have the alternate head, which his eyes look really sort of red right now. So my first one that I opened up, let me give you an example. His head, right there on that left side, our left side, he has, excuse my dirty nails by the way, he looks like someone knocked him out. Like he just smacked a tank with his head. His eyes are extremely red. They look bloodshot on one side. Looks like he has a black eye above his eyeball on the other side, like someone punched him and missed his eye. Like, damn, he looks like he's been in some shit. And I know that's probably a misprint because not every figure looks like that, but honestly, I don't even care because it looks like it's fitting for the setting that this soldier is supposed to be in. Otherwise, he is painted up nicely. He's not really missing too much paint via QC issues there. So I like that as well. Just thought I would tell you, some of your figures are going to come derpy. Some are going to come perfectly printed and perfectly painted. Some will come with nice prints but lack of paint, which is what you have here. Like I showed you the other one, this one is sort of missing paint on that side right there, and then a little bit of paint on the top there. But they are mass-produced nameless soldiers, and so they're not gonna be... I don't expect every figure to come perfectly painted up. Even on my Delta Trooper, I wanted to say that this head... Is this the head? No, this is not the head because I replaced it with the original Delta Trooper head I had. But one of them, he was missing that paint on top above his nose as well. And then the other one, like this head, came with some really derpy eyes, so I swapped those out. But every trooper will come with two alternate heads. Well, one alternate head and one head on the figure. And so, just so you could go ahead and make completely different people, which I love, even though it's just one skin tone different and the exact same head. Even if you have one figure, you now kind of have two, like in a sense. And that's honestly why I got two, is because I want to do one of each skin tone for every soldier, so that way I have two completely different soldiers, because even though they're exactly the same and they come with the same stuff, just by changing the skin tone, you now have a completely different person. And the immersion there for me and my experience with toys, I love it. I'm geeking out over it, but I love it. So for the hands, I'm not really going to show too close up. They come with exactly the same hands as every other figure does. The fist, knife holding, trigger hands, and the open sort of holding things hands for the barrels, or not the barrels, for the handguards of the weapons. And then due to this being a reissue of Spec Ops, also I just realized I'm being really loud, and that's probably coming across on camera, so I'm sorry for that. Hopefully you didn't have to turn the volume down too much. I'm just getting excited here. So, reissues in Action Force, Bobby Valla mentioned on YouTube, he wants to do every figure reissue slightly different from the original, whether it comes with a different accessory or slightly different paint apps, something different, so it's not exactly the same. And I appreciate that, and I respect him more for that. because he could just do a simple restock of the figure and not give us anything more. But since an original complaint from this line was that they did not come with, this camera keeps tilting and getting off level. Anyways, they did not come with weapons whenever they first came out until the Delta Trooper or maybe the Urban Trooper. But now the Spec Ops Trooper comes with an MP5K in all black. So he is officially a really stealthy guy. And I haven't heated them up, so this probably won't work, but we're going to try to put that in there. Yeah, I'm kind of stressing them a little bit here, so let's hopefully not break them. The good news is he's a troop builder, so if I broke his hand, I have a replacement for it. So yeah, that is the Spec Ops Trooper and what he comes with entirely by himself. And so if you don't get anything else, these guys retail for about $13 plus the $8 shipping if you get them from Valverse.com. Hopefully eventually they'll be in retailer stores so you don't have to pay for shipping, because that $8 is kind of steep in my opinion. But if you were a kid and you received one of these, you'd probably be pretty happy, because all you would want is what you're getting: some alternate hands, alternate head, and you get a weapon with it. I mean, a kid couldn't be unhappy about that as a gift. So I just want to show off that I have two of them, and I will deck both of these out and come back and show you what they look like. And I got both of them just so I wouldn't have to swap the Spec Ops gear pack with the other gear pack, just to show you what it comes with. So I'm going to go ahead and switch those now. So after a long while of trying to kit them out, they are completed, at least how I want them for the moment. Security pack on the left, Spec Ops pack on the right, with the exception of the only thing you don't see is these 3 extra pieces, and he does not come with a backpack, but if he did, I would definitely throw these in there. The comm set and the night vision goggles in gray, which are the same night vision goggles and the same comm set we get on almost every figure. The magazine for the M4 I have replaced, because as I said in the Crimson Shadow Tint video, we had this M4 right here, and taking a look at that, they're the exact same. The only difference is I wanted to throw in the painted part, the eject part, which I don't remember the actual term for at the moment. So now that that's silver, I threw on a silver mag. He comes with 3 of these gray mags, which are kind of hard to tell that they're gray, but they are a very dark gray instead of black like the rest to separate it. And so is his, I'm going to call it a smock, but could be wrong, but you know what I mean. It's gray, and then the other one is black to separate to break up the color. Of course, you could swap those if you want to. So these packs are exactly the same pack, with the exception of color scheme and weapons. So you get an M4 in the Spec Ops pack, you get a G36 on the security enforcement pack. The security pack is gray, so I'm not sure why the weapons are green. I would have loved to see them to be just the same gray. This is the same weapon that came with the Delta Trooper and the other troopers. It painted in green and black, and it's the same weapon that's in the Spec Ops gear pack, just painted, put that down, black with a silver slide instead. So that's the only difference. I am probably never going to take those out of their holsters. So there's not too much to say about these packs. Oh, they do have knives as well, so you can of course take those out. Those are the same knife that we get on every vest. And these are this is the knife on the other one. The vest is the same as as the blowback vest, just different colors. It is also I think some other figures use it. It is not the Delta Trooper, is it? Yeah, it's definitely not the vest that comes with the Delta gear pack, because that has the weapon or the magazines on the vest, which I prefer this one in the Delta gear pack compared to the other one, because I don't like the thigh holsters for the magazines. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of putting it on the figures or the look of it. It's annoying to put on no matter which way you do it. If you pull it up from the bottom, this pocket from the pants gets in the way, and that's a pain to get it over that. And then if you put it up from the top, you have to pop the leg off, which is a pain. So either way, it's kind of annoying. You get one of those on each, so you can hold the extra mags. You get the belt with the holster, the extra mags that don't come out, and then the multi-tool, the other flashlight, knife at the back, same as some previous iterations of the belt. And then there's pretty much nothing else to say about these guys. They look cool. They're troop builders. They are going to look good next to your other troop builders. These are kind of the guys that I would imagine are fighting the swarm in the background when you're not focused on the Action Force team. These are the guys that you can build, kit bash, customize any way you want to, especially since they are all black. I like the look of the Security Enforcement pack better than the Spec Ops pack because of the separation in color. Of course, you can see this is what they look like with their teammates. I don't have the Riot Trooper because he sold out before I could buy him. I really want that one because he's all blue, and I would love to try to make like a Riot or a blue and gray sort of SWAT trooper, which these guys could also sub as SWAT members, but they're all black and I kind of want a blue and gray one. So I don't have the Urban either or any other troop builders to show you except for the Steel Brigade Night Ops at the moment, because I have not opened my Steel Brigade reissue. So Night Ops is on his stand, which, by the way, I forgot to mention, these guys do come with stands. Every figure comes with the stand. They're all the same except for the Night Ops has the black one, but the rest of them are gray. So here is the Night Ops Steel Brigade right there, and then my somewhat kit bashed Night Ops Steel Brigade, who has the Spec Ops head, and then he has the Delta Trooper helmet, which is why my Delta Trooper does not have a helmet, because I only have one. He is kind of like, I'm kind of using him as sort of the captain, because he has the nods on for Night Ops still, but he doesn't have the Steel Brigade head, so he's kind of separate. And in my world, I don't know about the actual world of Valve versus Action Force, but in my world, the Steel Brigades kind of have a balaclava underneath. So I like the look of that. So you could also have him holding his actual Steel Brigade helmet or things like that. So they don't all have to just have the Steel Brigade head. You could kind of have like an unmasked but not completely unmasked version if you don't want to use, say, a Core Figures head to give them a full-on unmasked look. And with just these figures alone, these 6 figures that are in front of you, they can be kit bashed in so many different ways, even though they use exactly the same parts and they are exactly the same colors. Like, you could swap so many different things. If I wanted to pop the arms off, the black arms, put them on the green body, or the green arms on the black body, I could put the green arms right here. There's just so much customization, even though they look so similar. And people don't like them because they're so similar, but I think it's a toy line, and you gotta have a lot of uniformity in the toy line, or they aren't gonna work too well with each other, because if you have them too different, then you gotta worry about so many factors that I don't want to get into right now in terms of customer standpoint and a designer standpoint. And so yes, they look great. You could put, see, one of the only other figures I have out here right now to size compare to is Sergeant Slaughter, and I can't really do this right. So there's Sergeant Slaughter. They're all the same height. They use the same body. They all have the same boots except for Sergeant Slaughter. He has his own combat boots, but they're all the same height. The legs are just as tall, the shoulders or the torso is just as tall. They're all the exact same mold, with the exception of the heads, because of Sergeant Slaughter's head, and they have different vests, but they're mostly the same. So, enough ranting about that. Not to waste any more of your time today. If you pick up the Spec Ops troopers, they're going to fit really well with the rest of the Action Force, as with most of the Action Force figures that I have experienced. These guys' backstory, being Republic Guards, is pretty cool in my opinion. They are great troop builders. I don't know why you wouldn't want these guys if you had any other 6-inch action figures at all for any line. They'd go well with Joe's, they'd go well with Legends. Let's see, any other Hasbro 6-inch line they'd probably fit well with. There's not much else to say. They're just great figures overall, and I'm glad to have them in my collection. And if I could afford it, I would at least have probably 8 of every troop builder I could get my hands on. These guys are the basics of the basics, and maybe that's why I love them. You could kind of make them into ninjas. You can make them into just full-on operators. You could do just so many different things with troop builders, and I don't have anything negative to say about them except for the fact that the same things I've already said in other videos. They are a little too tight when they come out of the box, but that's easy to get around. It's just slightly annoying. They need more neck articulation. That's the only articulation that I could see them having. And if they had more paint apps, that'd be awesome. But if you look at everything that I would want for there to be more of with these figures, the only thing is the cost is going to rise. If I ask for more articulation or more paint apps and then they add that, then these figures go from $33 before tax and shipping to about $50 before tax and shipping, probably, because of the paint apps and the tooling for the articulation. It's just you're adding more things, so the price would probably spike. And for the price, these are probably the best 6-inch figures you can get. Now, they're not perfect, and there's always room for improvement, and they're always improving because you can see the progression just from Series 1 to now, what we are working with here. They're definitely improved. The next wave will hopefully be in January, will be my hopes. I'm hoping that in January we'll get the vehicle wave. I'm pretty sure that's the next wave that's coming out after Series 3. And if we get a vehicle coming straight out of the gate for next year, that's going to be a great start for the year. But if we get a vehicle not straight out of the gate and it comes later in the year, then I'd be happy with that too, because then it would be like a sort of great for that time of year too. So I don't really care what comes next. What I am hoping to see with Action Force in the future is more variety in terms of not necessarily figures, but like the vehicles. I want some variety in vehicles. I don't just want ground vehicles or just, air vehicles, things like that. I would like to get at least one boat, maybe a jet ski or something like that, or a dinghy, or some planes, helicopters. Anything other than just ground vehicles would be super cool. Now, I don't really care what they do. I'm probably going to buy it anyways because I need a vehicle to put these troops in for storage, for one. So yeah, I'm going to shut up now and let you guys just go do whatever you want to do. You can watch more of my videos. You can watch more of somebody else's videos. You can go outside and actually touch some grass. Unlike me, it's too rainy outside and I don't have a reason to go outside. So thank you for watching. As always, leave your feedback. And if you did not enjoy, you can go ahead and hit the dislike, don't recommend channel button if you want to. But if you did enjoy, you can do the opposite, hit the like button. You can donate to a PayPal Me link in my About section in my profile if you would like to support the channel, support the figures, and support the equipment for better videos in the future. Thank you, and have a good day.